All right, check this shit out. Yeah, this was created by Devilward. This was created by me. So, at each level, you're going to run into different walls that you run into. In order to move on, this is what you got to do. You got to. So, green and yellows, you don't need much to advance through, right? You just need to be comfortable with your buttons a little bit. You need like one combo, preferably a frame trap, and then you need to stop getting frame trapped, so you got to stop mashing. Although, this is much less important than ever before. You learn to do that, you'll get out of yellows, no problem. Then you're in these oranges, Vanquisher, Destroyer, and Eliminator. As long as you have a basic offensive sequence, you know, combos, good follow-ups, and like basic whiff punishment, you'll get out of these bad boys, no problem. Then you're chilling in reds. Now reds, you got to be consistent with your combos, right? Not just some of the times, all the time. And your offensive sequences, your flowcharts, they can't be interruptible. Or you need to be able to adjust them to make them not interruptible. Right? You need to avoid all of the obvious frame traps. Like, sure, you've never seen a string before, but you got to understand, oh, it looks like there's another hit coming, and then not get hit by another hit. You also need some defense, so like some frame punishes, even if it's just punishing shit with jabs, right? You'll make it out of reds, no problem. Then we got the purples, the perps, as we call them. Mighty Ruler, fucking Flame Ruler, and Battle Ruler. If you have relatively consistent defense, you know, frame punishment, if your movement is deliberate, no more holding back, you backdash, right? Consistent whiff punishment, you get them to whiff in your face and you hit them with something. And you got to be somewhat familiar with frames. On top of everything above, you'll get out of the purples, no problems. Now, blues are where a lot of people get stuck. You got to have some matchup knowledge. You got to avoid setups. And I don't mean like gross, ridiculous setups like I'm constantly throwing out. I mean like the obvious, oh, you got to hold back here. You got to tech roll here. You got to not die to this. As well as layer 2 play. Just because you're not getting frame trapped from here, you gotta challenge those frames once in a while, and that's what blues are all about. As well as your ability to transition between defense and offense. You gotta play offense until it's not your turn, then switch to defense when it is. You also need a bit more combo optimization, including stray hits, so if you like randomly float someone, you gotta convert it. And overall, you need to have a cohesive game plan. You need your buttons to come out when you want them to come out. Right? Then we got the purples. This is what you were asking about. Tekken King and Tekken Emperor. You need to have, well, I say mastery here, mostly familiarity. We can move mastery down to here against most of the cast. You also need a mastery of your own timing, right? You gotta be able to slow down or speed up when it's called for. You can't just operate at the same timing constantly. Right? If I can call out your moves, it doesn't matter how much you know the rest of this shit, because I'll never have to deal with your mix. I'll just always have a counter hitting button out that you're gonna press into. You also need more optimized punishment. So like your 10 frames, you need to punish with jabs. 14 and less, you need to punish with your good mid-range punish, and 15 or more, you need to launch. Now, if I recall correctly, you were on Jin, right? So, on Jin, you have one of the best 14 frame punishes in the game. You also have a great 10 frame, a great 11 frame. You know, there's a lot to know. So you can hella optimize your punishment. That said, you just need good punishment into good pressure. And then we move down to Tekken God and Tekken God Supreme. This is where I'm stuck at the moment. Now, you need to be able to instantly adjust. You need a complete offensive and defensive game plan, which I do. Full matchup mastery, I don't even close to have that. And you need sauce. You also, okay, so yeah, full matchup mastery. Full matchup mastery, got it. This is majority, this is entirety of the cast. I take back what I said earlier, I was right all along. The one who was right all along. It's better to be laughed at than wrong. I'm an expert in my field. Ufology, yes, it's all real. Ancient aliens, it's all true. I'm an expert just like you, and like you, I'm a genius before my kind. disbelieving that's the real crime. Pretty soon they'll discover me in the Super Sargasso Sea. I try to call you every day. What can I say when the truth comes out? A breakdown of the top 10 DDTs of all time? Well, that's another video. You know what? All 10 go to King. All 10 go to King. There's Tekken 8 King, and then Tekken 7 King, Tekken Tag 2 King, Tekken 6 King, Tekken 5 DR King, Tekken 5 King, Tekken 4 King, Tekken 3 King, Tekken Tag 1 King, and Tekken 2 King. All 10. Easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Also, the biggest thing to get out of Tekken God Supreme into God of Destruction, you need some sort of sauce. You need something that's going to push you just a bit above. Because just because you have a full matchup mastery, unless you're reacting to shit because you're cracked, you need to have more than just mastery of the matchups. You need to have a way to get people to misplay. Or you have to have a canned mix-up on your character and, like, always guess right. But realistically, well, I mean, Tekken 8 is the game for that. But regardless, like, you actually need to be able to get people to misplay. On Jin, it's a fuckload of 2-1s, sometimes finishing the 4, right? That's whatever. On King, it's trying to get him to stop stepping with forward 4s and then mixing up shove, forward 4, neutral 2, and throws. Risk is way not in your favor. But yeah, then once you hit God of Destruction, we'll see what happens. And that is Tekken, the video game.